online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
They're playing
It's like club hour in here. Let's feel it. Welcome, AfterBuzzers, to yet another fun-filled edition of the Satisfaction After Show here at AfterBuzz TV. Tonight, we are talking Season 2, Episode 5. It is Through Struggle. I'm your host, Allison Dean. You can find me everywhere at the Allison Dean. And to my left is the lovely Blake. Blake, where can they find you?
That is right. I'm Blake V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
Khalil.
And I'm Khalil Boo Boo. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Khalil Boo Boo.
And
If you didn't know.
I was trying to like punch it or something.
I know, seriously.
Lauren,
Because it's a struggle. This is a struggle episode. I'm struggling.
Oh, is that what that was? I was
Go
like,
ahead.
oh.
All right.
okay.
And I'm Lauren
Thank you.
Salon. You
Thank
can
you,
find
ladies.
me everywhere at Lauren Salon.
Lovely, and tonight in studio, it is a momentous occasion for us because we have the most gorgeous and lovely Nicky Whelan is here.
Yay!
Welcome.
Thanks for having me back. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, and now you're here to talk all things hashtag Are You Satisfied?
That is the
Are you
hashtag.
guys satisfied? You've just watched episode 5?
Yes,
Yes.
very
Are
satisfied.
you very satisfied?
Yeah, very
You are?
satisfied.
No,
I'm very
I can't
satisfied,
talk about-
but I want so much more.
Yes, I'm sort of like, I have so many questions.
Can I ask you guys, did you... Sorry, now I've just turned it into my interview. Did you guys watch
Go for
season
it.
1?
Yes.
You did. See, I watched season 1 too, and I was like so invested
Yes.
that by the time I got there, I felt really out of place being a part of something I had been really watching
Mm.
and loving.
Oh.
Season 1 is awesome. Now, honestly, what do you prefer so far, season 1 or 2? Be honest.
That's not
I won't be
fair.
offended.
It's only
I
5
will
episodes.
not be offended.
You have to like wait till it's finished to give a fair
Okay,
assessment.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And the viewers. So initially, okay, I was obsessed with season 1 to the point where I was literally telling every person that I cared about that they must watch the show. Like in Pilates, we'd be like talking to
about
each
me.
other. In Pilates, I'd be like, "Did you see? Did you watch last night?" And it would be one of those things. So then when I said we didn't do a Satisfaction after show for season 1, so this is the first AfterBuzz season for it. So when I recruited these lovely people and I was like, please be on Satisfaction with me. This is the best show ever, and season 2 is going to be bananas. They were like, send me a link. And so when we watched the first episode, I got a little scared. Okay, so the first episode, and Michelle Deshawn was here, and I was like,
I love her.
I know, I love her too, and I was like, I'm a little scared about season 2 because what are they doing?
Where do you go from there?
Right.
Yeah.
But now it's like starting to, like, it's giving me stuff. Like, at first I was a little skeptical about the Simon and Neil partnership. I was a little nervous about that.
I agree.
Like,
Yeah,
WTF,
yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
now it's like, wait, why is this working for me? This is working
Yeah.
for me. This is like,
everything is
I
picking
agree.
up
It's,
now.
it's revving up. Yeah.
It's hardcore though, like in comparison to the season 1.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Oh, yeah,
there's
yeah, yeah.
a lot more skin in season 2, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I appreciate. I love
I
the skin.
agree. Well,
That's
that's
a selling
fine.
point
I'm here
You
for the
try
skin.
being the actor.
I know, I was like, there's a lot of Emma skin in season 2, isn't there?
Yeah,
Yes,
I
there
know.
is. Good for you, girl.
Yeah.
I'm like, props to you for that. So we leave off last week with Grace and Neil doing their shebang-a-banginess in front of Adriana.
Bang, bang,
And
bang, bang.
yeah,
Go
pretty
ahead.
much.
Sorry, that was a very immature. Keep going.
And because of all this, Adriana is basically peed off and wanting to exact some major revenge on both of the two. Yes. And so this episode kind of gives us some of that. What were just thoughts? What did you think might happen, Lauren?
Well, I think last week I was saying how I didn't want to see Neil and Adriana like head into this like
Battle?
mortal enemy sort of thing.
Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the tension and I like that they're like kind of at odds, but I didn't want to see it like really go down. So I think we saw some, compromise coming together toward the end of this episode. So
I think we were all wrong though in our prediction of who Richard was.
We were all wrong.
Yes.
So basically what happened is Adriana, when she made that phone call at the end of last week's episode, she calls Richard, who we think, I don't know. What did I don't even remember what I said.
It's hysterical. Like, this is like
It is
you
a
guys
solid
paid
analysis.
So
We're gonna get deep right now, Nikki.
Yeah, we're gonna keep
So
going.
Richard actually is with the SEC. So Adriana, of course, because she is a pimp daddy to all men, she has homies at the SEC, and so lo and behold, she calls the SEC Richard, and they show up at Neil's company. Oh, that's fun.
Hell have no fury like a woman scorned.
Thank you, Khalil.
Who was that?
We can always appreciate that from
I
you.
don't know.
Okay. Yes.
I did love how the episode opened with her. She's like staring
yes.
at the cage and wearing a necklace with a tiny key on it.
Plotting.
I love that, like syncing up the wardrobe and that scene right
The
there.
meanings behind
Yeah.
it all.
So
It was like,
good.
I'm coming
Such
for you,
rich
bitches.
symbolism.
Adriana's wardrobe this whole episode was like, so
Top
good.
notch.
does get the best wardrobe.
Although you've had some good wardrobe moments, I feel
Very
like.
good.
Well, I've been wearing clothes. Yes, I got to wear some.
Bathing suits.
So like when I actually
Shower.
have them on, they're
Um,
Did was the
The
shower
birthday
scene
suit
on?
is an outfit.
I
Yes,
guess that's
this
already
is
been
shower
and gone. Okay, cool.
Tonight. Or
yes.
This
You,
past
so
episode.
this episode, we also get you and Simon in the shower having some conversation about being in love and needing to talk to Arthur.
Trying to be that deep in a shower, I've got to be honest with you, like, you know.
Challenging?
It's challenging.
Wait, hold on. How many times did you have to film that scene?
It took ages because the way we shot it, and it's a fake shower, so it's so awkward. There's nothing fun about that scene, and there's like a puddle of this gross baby
sad.
bath at your feet.
Oh.
You're in like underwear, which is soggy and like it's just
Oh,
a weird
yeah.
situation. And I was like, no, I'm not showing my rack. So the whole time I'm like this, trying to do the scene and look. I mean, it's a whole thing. Like it's a whole. So trying to, as long as you guys got what the dialogue was and what we were trying to get across, right?
It came across.
yeah,
That
we
came
got
across.
it.
It totally did. I thought it did.
It did.
You also, in that scene, tell Simon that you're going to Argentina because there's some like late breaking procedure, viral, or some kind of a treatment, right?
Yes.
And a treatment that Arthur is going to look into for his cancer, and it could work, and yada yada yada. And Simon says, "Oh well, maybe I should go because it's my dad," and blah, and that you looked like, no, that's a weird idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, probably, I didn't think he was going for his dad. It was obviously to go
Right, yeah,
for
yeah,
Emma
yeah.
because of the dad.
I actually thought
Yeah.
he was going to go. Let's talk about you and Simon, though, for a moment, because I feel like this has been a topic of, not contention, but debate, maybe, in terms of the backstory. So I have decided in my brain that there was much pre-existing love between the two of you, and somehow you got snatched away from Arthur, by Arthur, because of money. Okay, you were
agree.
feeling
Is that how it
too?
reads?
Yeah.
Is that how you guys saw it? Yeah.
Well, me.
Did you guys remember the scene? Can't remember which episode where there's photos. Did you guys remember the photos of him and I?
Oh,
Yeah.
were they in his
Stephanie
apartment?
finds them. Stephanie Sozak's character finds the photos of him and I.
Oh yeah, in the apartment when she was in his
yeah.
apartment.
Yeah, remember
This
she
was
finds
okay.
photos of us? So
Okay.
that will give you an idea that one, and they're like old school photos, like
Yeah.
they maybe bring my high school photos in or some shit. So, you know, with long hair, and so that's a flashback. So that's
There you
maybe
go.
Yeah.
where you.
Because even
Yeah.
in the episode we just watched, Emma's like, "Oh, you know that we're still in love." I think that even happened in the shower.
Oh,
scene.
yes.
She
Yeah.
tell him that we're
Yes.
still in love. Sort
Yeah,
of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So that just makes it feel like it was something pre-existing before she and Arthur got together.
Yeah. We
then
were.
it's
We
like,
were.
girl, what
Should I say?
Share.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Because we had to make something up in our heads so that we knew what was going on. So I guess, and I didn't know how much of it read through, but you guys are sort of on the. We were in love, and we met his dad, and my character. Which are we ready for it? What are we going to call her?
The strumpet.
Trumpet meets his dad, who's this hot dad who's
Yeah.
got all this money, and then the dad snatches me up, and I like go off with the dad. Like she's such a strumpet, but of course she's actually in love with the son, Simon, but she took the safe route and went with the dad.
The dad.
And then 10 years later she comes back and she's like, it's the dad's wanting to get a hold of Simon, so he uses me as bait. The dad knows like that him and I are still into each other, but he's
Yeah.
just evil and doesn't care. And so I come back, but that was kind of Does that make sense?
And for
Yeah.
all
It
the
does.
viewers, we do need to define what a strumpet is because we
do.
may repeat it.
Thank you.
A
I hope
multitude.
it's not a bad word.
For me, I
I don't
could
think so. I love it.
take a.
Oh, a
Another-
lesson in
a
a strumpet.
refresh.
Oh,
Yes.
you were not in the room for
You
this.
missed-
Oh, you
okay.
missed it, Khalil. Oh, it's great. It's great.
You having moments
A
without me?
strumpet is not an
we had
instrument
them.
or a dessert. In fact,
Although it sounds like both.
It's more like a high class slut.
It's like a
Well,
Ah.
it's really harsh. It's somewhere in between that. Like it's like
She would be the queen of the strumpets. Great. I'm glad that we have resolved that. All right, so back to recap. Neil goes to see Adriana to basically call off the dogs because he doesn't like the SEC business, especially because we find out that Victor, in
Hey,
fact, has been
Victor.
embezzling money.
Unbeknownst to everybody.
That's why he had a heart attack.
Yeah.
'cause
Jeez
it was
Louise, no
real.
kidding.
me.
He has a heart attack because he's like, crap, the SEC is on to me now.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, you can't do that. Sorry,
We
Victor.
had 2 moments this episode. That one with with Neil and Victor in the kitchen, where
Uh-huh.
he's like, "I know everything that's been going on," sort of thing, or
Yeah.
Neil's.
You mean the
about to
bombs
tell
dropping
him.
this episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then with Simon and his dad, he's like, "Oh, I have to tell you something." He's like, "I already know." You know, like a few of those kind of missed
Misdirections.
connections, if you will, or misdirections.
There really was.
It was
It was
little sweat
beautiful.
going. Yeah.
Were you sweating?
I mean, I got like a
A little hot in there?
I felt that way. I felt like this
think I
whole
saw us beat this
episode. Yeah, the single driplet.
The single driplet.
Single drop.
Then we also get Grace and Neil having another chat, which I thought was uncomfortable. And they talk about selling the house, but you could tell that both of them don't really want to sell the house. Or...
oh, and then they hook up.
Yes.
Again.
I was
yeah.
there that day. They shag on the bench in the lounge room, don't they? Or somewhere they shag
Yeah.
on something.
Yeah, no, please tell us.
They do.
Yeah, well, it was just a lot of shagging happening, actually.
Well, it
It
like
was.
started in one place and then they like took it to a different
Do
location.
you guys know
right?
that Matt Passmore's Aussie, right?
I didn't know that.
He's
No.
Australian.
I didn't know
Did
that.
you know him? Because Australia's so small.
No, I got to say, and everyone's like, Matt's Aussie too. And I was like, what? And I was like, no, because he's so convincing as an American. And then we end up knowing all the same people and stuff. But
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
didn't
funny.
know he
I
was an
didn't know
Australian
that either.
I
Yeah.
feel like your accent, though, is... when you're doing your American accent, do it right now for a second.
I'm so awkward with it. I have
Okay,
to,
honestly, though, it's awesome.
Thank you. It's not always. Sometimes I left an audition once and they said she sounded Irish. I swear to God, like I've had the worst feedback sometimes.
Oh my God.
Some, it's
You
a
would
hit
not-
or miss. It's a hit or miss.
Okay, this whole time...
I would not think that at all.
I
It was
didn't even-
undetectable.
Yeah.
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 And I will
Thank
Google.
you, because I sometimes am. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'll take it.
just
Thank
saying.
you, because I get weird
No,
about
legit.
it. Okay.
Like
cool.
it hit me while you were talking, like listening to you talk. I'm like, oh, wait a second. She
She
doesn't sound like
right
that
now.
on the show.
She doesn't
Yeah.
sound like Emma.
Right.
This is
We
weird.
debated having her Australian, but it wouldn't have made sense really, being intertwined with the family for so long, and being in
Right.
America and stuff. So
I was actually thinking about that last night. I was like, why did they just make her Australian? Like, she could have been the exotic Australian that somehow...
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
I've
What
done
do you-
that
he went
character
to-
a fair bit though, so we got to like play it down. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh.
every time I get to say, people are like, let's make her Australian. So
You're like,
there's always
no!
no, American. So yeah. It was
No,
good that they
I,
kept it.
I'm not even saying that to, like, kiss butt. I, like, truly thought that you did a good accent.
Thank you
Just
for
saying.
saying that. Thank you very much.
Okay. By the way, were you guys envisioning, so when Simon and Emma were in the shower at first, I was like really envisioning that they were like going to be able to escape and like go off to a desert island and like be together
No.
forever. You weren't thinking that. Okay, so it was just me?
Yeah.
No. Okay. Dark days
Yeah,
ahead.
I wasn't thinking that either.
Dark days.
Sorry.
Dark
Yeah.
Not to shoot you down.
No, that's fine. I did have like a moment where I was like, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. No.
I
okay.
was hopeful too.
Were
Trust
you?
me, when I read the script, I'm like, what? And then he says that line to me in the
Yeah.
kitchen. I'm not giving away too much, right?
No.
I'm not. And then I tell him I might be pregnant in the kitchen, right?
Yes.
And he's all cool about it.
He's
You know?
excited.
No, he's not really. I will.
Well, he was a little
Oh.
frightened, I think.
Right.
I think he was frightened because it's like, what does he do? He's like, he knows that you're still married to his dad, so like, how's that gonna work?
It's the old chestnut when the guy asks you to take it easy, then goes, well, I'm pregnant.
That
whole
go
thing.
to. I know. Well, and before that too, when they were in the shower and they had the moment of like, oh, I'm really struggling with this, and I think we should tell your dad. I was like, no.
Yeah. No.
I don't think so. No.
Do you reckon the dad knows?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. The dad knows, but they don't know that he knows.
Because like out at the pool when they're like all close and stuff.
By the
he
way,
just
that was
comes
such
out.
a close call.
Oh
like,
my
Even I
gosh.
said to the director, I said, are you sure he wouldn't walk out and see me? And then I have my like, I mean,
Well, and the house has all these windows and stuff. Like, come on.
He for sure saw.
Yeah.
it's kind of, yeah,
And then Simon throws everything into the pool like a little baby.
very dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it was maybe episode 2 or something where Emma showed up in Simon's apartment, and then we saw like
A photographer.
the car outside,
Yes.
and like since then I knew Arthur knew.
Yeah, you're right. So there's you knew stuff's up.
But they
right?
didn't piece that together for us yet.
No, and it hasn't been really like unveiled that
Yeah.
he knows. For all intents and purposes, we still think that maybe he doesn't know.
Well, because it
Well,
made
at
it
the-
seem
But-
like he was just checking up on
Yes.
Simon.
Yes.
But at the end of the episode, we kind of got like a he knows.
Because I know that's totally how I took it. Also, was like he hired someone to investigate the situation and like saw that Emma was going there to Simon's. I totally thought it just meant he knew. He knew this whole entire time.
I mean, certainly someone like Arthur has the funds to have like a
Oh,
private
yeah.
investigator on her tail at all times. So
Completely.
it's not so far-fetched.
And you got to know that. I mean, you know, he knows that Emma and Simon have had this thing for years, like since they were kids.
That's
they
the gross part about it is he uses it to get back to his son. Like
Yes.
he uses me, his wife, as his bait, and I'm like, and the truth is I'm sincerely in love with his character, so I'm like, you know what I mean? It's kind of gross.
Well, it's sort of awkward. Well, yeah.
It's mean.
It is mean. And I don't understand either. Like, okay, so if you love the son so much, you could just go with the dad. I'm like, I don't
How's when
know.
he threw the paintings in the fire, like $5 million worth of paintings or
Yeah.
whatever it was?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I had an idea about that it wasn't actually all the paintings in the fire, that he just threw the painting carrier in the fire.
Nope,
right?
it was
Didn't I
the
say
paintings.
that? Oh, it was for sure.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because we were like, who would do that?
Who would do that?
Why would
No
he do
one.
that?
I would sell them.
Yeah.
eBay.
Yeah.
Anything.
I know Allison had a great idea thinking it was only the carrier,
Like,
like
it was
the
like,
tube.
"Here, Emma."
You
Like,
would hope-
I'll
yeah.
show you, toss them in, but like have them still at home.
Yeah.
But no,
No?
Simon.
Gotcha.
Jeez.
That was another backstory in my brain that was
Yeah, yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
I have so many.
It was good. It was good.
The plethora.
We liked
Would you
it.
guys like ultimately to see, because this is something when I watched the season before I was a part of it, like, do you want to see Neil back together
With Grace.
Yeah.
with Grace?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to happen.
Is that what you're all fighting for? Because that's what I was fighting for the
Yeah.
whole
In season
time.
one.
In season 1.
Yes.
Not
Now in
anymore.
season 2.
I'm questioning it.
I
how do they
still
forgive? They have shagged so many people. How do they forgive each other?
I think
you-
that's why their relationship
Yeah.
from episode to episode is like, oh, we like each other. No, we don't. And it's back and forth
Because
like
I
3
love her.
times
In
an
real life,
episode.
Stephanie is the most amazing person, like, on planet Earth. Stunning and so beautiful. Like, I want everything to work out for her in her life. Like, I love her. And I really want her to end up with Neil, but now I'm all angry because they've completely, like, who's worse?
I don't know. She
He's
started
worse.
it, right?
She started it, but who's worse?
He continued it.
He certainly
And, like,
he took it
That's
to
a good
He's
question.
getting
I hadn't
paid
thought
now
about
for it. He's
that.
getting money for it now, though.
So then now it's technically a job.
think-
So I mean, you know,
Oh,
you have
of course
work
the
and
man
then you
thinks
have.
that way.
Khalil.
But I will
No.
say this, they've also, I mean, they've had so much character development between the two of them because of all that. I mean, obviously, it's not something where you're like, wow, in order to really expand on my life, I think that we should both cheat on people and get paid to have sex with people and all
Yeah.
that other. I mean, you don't necessarily want those things, but I think given the situation that they're now in and kind of, they've evolved. They're like different layers of themselves.
Well, and it's funny too because in the scope of the show,
Yes.
this is all true, and they're you know it's developing and they're figuring out ways to interact with one another, but in real life, like this would no,
Oh,
no,
I'm sure. Hey, Blake.
Right?
It's a big world.
You don't think people would be as forgiving in real
no,
life?
no.
Not me either. I'd kill people.
I
for
would
sure.
I would kill people.
yeah.
People would be dead from you and me because this would not be going
I
down.
would take him out. I would have left
Yeah.
him in the pool and shot him
yeah,
myself.
long
Right.
like episodes ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago
And
that would
watching
have
it, you
happened.
think like, okay, I guess I see how this is like brought them back together, as traumatic and like messed up as it is. Like they're reconnecting in
Yeah.
some way and
But
stuff.
all the
and they're
trust is gone.
Yeah.
But that's what I keep wigging out on, because even though they're so in love, every time they're not together, Blondie's always like hitting on them. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was another bomb tonight. I mean, it was kind of like a big reveal when Adriana was pretty much like, I want it to be the 3 of us.
I kind of like, I get her deal though.
Super
I mean, I know
couple.
that's creepy, but I kind of felt for her for like 2 seconds.
For 2 seconds.
Because she like just wants them all lived happily ever after, just the 3 of them. He's getting the best deal in the entire world.
If I do say
A
so
blonde and a
myself.
brunette, and like
mean,
both gorgeous. Like,
Yeah.
Winning.
But I wonder why. Like, why did she decide that? At what point did she decide that she
It has
did
to be
want it to
both.
be
she's
the
a
3?
control freak, and she wants to control everyone and everything, and she does it with sex. So it's like,
and they're the 2 that have both walked away from her.
yeah.
At least that
Or
we've
have
seen.
been willing to stay?
Maybe.
Because, I mean, like, what idea did she ever have that Grace would be willing to come and, like, be with her and live with her and do all of this with her? Any normal person would be like,
she's giving her everything that her husband wasn't giving her. So
the attention.
And remember, she was shagging Blair and originally, so not Blair, Simon, God bless. It's his real name. Kill me for saying that. She was shagging him originally, so you know, she was already not getting enough from him at home as it was. So now
I just find it such an odd decision to go to the woman who has just done all of this with your husband, you know, and then you're like, oh, I'll go to her for solace.
It's ballsy, but she's smart.
Yeah.
Because you know how there's like girls that will just, you know, if they've been playing around with your boyfriend, they'll be really smart and they'll make friends with you.
A strumpet?
You know what I mean? Yeah, a strumpet. They're the scariest girls that are super nice to everyone. You go, yep, something's up.
Yeah.
It's like the Real Housewives of
You're way
Orange
too
situation.
nice to everybody.
is.
Like something's going on.
Yeah, too calculated. Yeah,
it's
too nice.
calculated. But it's in her position, she's probably figured she can walk away from it all, or she can go and get all the info and just play the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
For TV purposes, she went that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and we saw Adriana planting those little nuggets and like weaseling her way in there from the moment that she even met Grace, and so she was plotting that whole thing the whole time.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's all plotting. on
I
the show.
know.
It's just like perpetual plotting. Everything is like,
so devious.
what's
Cerebral.
plotting
And
now?
every time I watch it, like in TV world, it makes sense what's happening enough, you know, and you're like, oh my gosh, But then I'm like, do people in real life, does someone have like this real life actually?
I think there's a lot of areas that do make sense, like the prostitution thing's an interesting one, because I think that's something that legit goes on, like the guy's working hardcore and always everyone assumes it's the man cheating, but in actual fact, like it was the wife, you know, his Steph's character, paying for sex. Like these things they're real topics. It's all research and it's all legit. So it is happening out there. It's so weird. So I think
Yeah, I think for sure there are people in this world. Like there are people that do live this life.
Yeah, there are. There actually are. This is real. Like
Totally.
this.
Yeah.
It's weird and it's not
It's just
for
a
us,
very
but
small niche group that this is
maybe
happening
it's not.
to.
Maybe we're just all really pure and innocent.
I know.
We're the niche group.
Real.
You're in the
We're
niche
just
over here.
angels.
Yep.
Or maybe I've just dodged it this whole time.
It's
You're like, how have I
possible.
missed it?
I don't know how.
We also, so Adriana has a meeting with this guy named Jimmy Valenti for some eye-tech convention, which I was like, this does not sound like a sexual thing, and yet I believe it is a sexual thing.
Because they are
Is
going to
it a-
like staff the party, you know, have their girls be there.
Oh, to then like sleep with all the guests.
Like an escort situation. Oh, okay. Yes,
Now
I
show
didn't.
their guests a good time.
Staffing.
while
Okay.
at the-
Lauren,
I didn't make that
nice.
connection.
They're staffing the party.
And that really, like, for big conventions,
stuffing
big
the party.
sporting events, that's huge. Like when real time, like sex working stuff happens, like in real life. Like,
Naughty,
for sure.
naughty.
We're
Somehow-
learning so much.
It's very educational.
Very interesting.
Every week with Satisfaction, strumpets and stuffing and just all that jazz.
All of
And
it.
it's Thanksgiving. Keep going.
It is. do you like it all? Okay, so but somehow Neil like takes the account. He somehow like pay back
intercepts
to
it.
Adriana and intercepts. Good word. Intercepts the whole situation, but then somehow more bribery occurs, and Adriana's like, well, if we can work together on this and then work together in real life.
Wait,
and
wait. It didn't
I know.
have-
I'll
Okay.
circle back.
Thank you. Thank you. Please. My favorite part.
I'll call off the SEC. Okay, and all this basically happens because we see Neil walks in. He hears moaning in the office. He's working late night at the office. He hears moaning. I knew this happened. I knew this was coming at some point. Like as soon as Grace and Adriana had their tryst together or whatever. But we hear moaning, and lo and behold, it's the tape of Grace and Adriana getting it on. Wow.
Why are you blowing?
Satisfied. That was a blow.
Are you satisfied?
That was a blow.
It was his
You
mind
just-
being blown.
It was
Exactly.
hot.
Yeah.
It was the hottest scene ever. Like it was.
Oh, it was.
It was.
I loved
steamy,
it.
for sure.
It was great.
And then-
that is a chess move right there.
And then Adriana's whole little.
the rest is like
Of course,
petty.
there's a man on
Yes.
the panel. This is so-
The rest is like petty, back and forth, blah blah blah. But that was like the jugular, like,
You liked that.
this is your wife.
And Lauren totally
How
called
you
it.
like that?
Oh yeah, it
Adriana-
was so basic.
I think he
instinct.
enjoyed it.
Yes.
He liked it.
I think he
like
liked
a
it for a
piece of
moment.
it. Yeah, like I think.
And then he was like, "Oh no,
Uh-oh.
she didn't."
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I think he didn't like it at first, but then like later it marinated, and then he was like, oh, maybe
Kinda
it's
hot,
not so
yeah.
bad.
Really?
Yeah. I think so. I think that also like played in his mind, and then when he like got with Grace at the end, he was like totally thinking about it.
I think if it was anyone other than Adriana, but because it was her, and because he feels so manipulated by her, and so like what
Because it's
this
such
woman
a
has
power
done.
play.
Yeah.
I think that he was kind of like, I hate you that
This
much
is
more.
chess thing. Checkers.
Did you,
Training
Allison,
Day,
did you
if you've seen
get
Training Day.
Basic Instincts from
Oh,
that scene?
yeah,
For
the whole
sure.
thing.
Have this basic instinct.
So
You know what's
good.
amazing too? 9.5 weeks. Let's just.
Oh
go
my
there.
god, don't even get me started.
Is it not the best? I mean, it's so bad to talk about it because it's so naughty. But like, isn't it the best movie in the entire world?
How hot is he in that movie?
How hot is she?
But how hot
Both-
is he
but-
too?
Remember
Yeah,
her long
the
skirts
whole
and her boobs and
experience.
her
Oh,
thing?
yes.
Oh my god! And do you remember like in the staircase when they punch on with everyone and then they have sex on the wall?
Oh dear.
It's the best movie.
It's
I need to watch that.
It
Oh
is
my
the
God, you do.
best mo- It
You
is
totally do.
Classic movie.
It is.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
There's
pretty,
nothing more
adding it to the
beautiful than
list.
these two in this movie. Everything about it.
It's pretty spot
I
on.
actually
so
went ahead and
intense.
watched the number 2 they made
So
of
did
it.
I.
Oh.
Not as
I haven't
good.
seen the
Highly
I've seen the
disappointed.
number two.
Left of center random.
But he looks so good in those movies that you're like, I forgive you. He does.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
He's
you
so
know,
twisted.
now it's so
So
different.
twisted,
I know
yeah.
he's so
and
left
she's
out.
so lovely
Pure.
and pure and
Pure.
lovely and Kim Basinger, God.
That's why it works. It's just
It just works.
painful and wonderful all at once.
Sorry, I'm going way off the show.
Getting a little distracted.
And we're
over here.
back.
Okay, so another sort of oddity this episode for me was when Grace went in to go see the plastic surgeon, because I was like,
Yeah.
for I mean, I get the whole migraine
Right.
thing, okay. But
I didn't
then-
even get that. I didn't even know that was possible.
Same here.
Botox,
The
We were
Botox
like-
treatments from I've
I
not
mean, it
heard of
doesn't
such a
go
thing.
inside your brain, so how does that work?
That's
I mean,
that was my confusion. I'm like, where do they inject it?
I don't know
I
the
don't know how that
science of
works.
it, but I feel like I've seen enough like commercials and stuff.
maybe it's just
To
placebo.
know
Like
that.
we're injecting you with something, so you're better.
but it
I know
probably
people
does,
have
'cause
neck
it,
pains
like,
and stuff. They put Botox in their
Yeah,
neck to
it-
take
it-
away pain. That's legit real.
Okay.
I know
deadens-
someone that has neck problems and they put it.
Your
It takes away
joints?
all of all
Right.
of their joints and stuff.
because
to
it
take away-
tranquilizes those muscles
Yeah.
that are seizing up. Like,
I guess
same
it's
thing
not
if
in
you're
your
doing it
brain,
with
actually.
That's what
wrinkles.
Botox was originally created from, was to help children with all those things,
Muscle
migraines and
things.
stuff. That's how it was. And then they realized it was freezing their skin and went, oh, everyone looks really young doing it too. So that's why, but that's what it was initially
Right, yeah,
designed
it
for.
kinda-
Yeah.
Huh.
Stops those muscles
Look
from
at
freaking
that.
out. So,
More knowledge.
Yeah.
Learning so much.
We get satisfied. We get
Yeah.
educated.
I didn't like that guy. That the
plastic surgeon?
Oh no,
Yeah.
no.
He was
He
a little-
creeped.
was.
He
Had a
creeped
weird
me
factor
out.
to begin with.
Yeah, from the moment we got introduced to him, I was just like, "Ooh, I can't even watch him." You guys were hearing me. I couldn't
Yeah.
even take it the whole time.
But then
Not
there
good.
was, I mean, it was like, okay, this maybe
That's what I
is
said.
cute with
When
the
they-
little prescription number referral and
Creepy.
then the food truck thing.
Unprofessional.
But
I saw that
it's way
coming.
too, it's way too like, he's way too like in there.
The
like,
first
let's
date
go
was cute.
inside
The
food
first
truck.
date-
Just like,
Food truck, that's cute. Like, oh, and we're gonna go back
The
here and we're
laughing
gonna
gas,
make dinner
not
together.
cute.
no,
The
that's
laugh-
when it started getting a little weird.
It's
You don't do that
creepy.
on
Yes.
the first date.
None of it was cute. I didn't. The food truck. I couldn't even appreciate the food truck because it was too much creep before then, and I was just like, "Why are you even at the food truck?" Like, no.
Yeah.
It's probably not sanitary.
Like the whole thing was.
Yeah,
I couldn't
didn't love
get
it.
on board.
I mean, it all made sense when his late night assistant walked in and was
It's
like,
Cheryl.
She's here to use the computer.
"What a strumpet that one
Who
was."
doesn't
No, just-
have a computer in 2015? Like,
I know. She comes here to use the internet. I'm like,
Yeah, paid well enough apparently.
no, she just comes to spy on you
Right.
and F up all of your dates. That's what
Hey
she
guys,
does.
I'm just gonna go to my creepy
she's probably
bosses real
one of-
late at night to use the internet.
Because
so,
she'd be in
see ya.
love with him.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, but anyway, Grace was onto it. She left, and lo and behold, she runs into Neil as Neil is escaping the web of
clutches.
Adriana, the clutches of Adriana, who was taunting him with the USB drive of their tryst, the Adriana Grace sex tape. And of course, Neil was like, "F you, I'm leaving."
Yeah.
I just wondered though, like when he was like reaching into her. Whatever he was doing, I was like wondering if he could just
Say
like slowly like do some
In
weird
detail.
like Superman move and like get the thumb drive out of the panties and then like still be like close your eyes and then like haul butt out the door. Like I was
Yeah.
hoping for. I mean, maybe that happened. This is another one of my.
I think it
backstories.
happened.
Maybe it happened.
You reckon he got it?
Yeah, I do. Because that's what I thought when it first happened. I was like, he's just gonna snatch it from in there and then bail.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
And then Adriana is very gullible. fallible when it comes to
Close your
her
eyes.
submission.
because she's so like
She's
to have
like,
sex.
yes.
So she's like, yeah, woohoo, and then he stands her up.
Yep.
Such a burn sizzle
Yeah.
for sure.
This has happened twice. Grace said it to her once, like,
Yeah, that's
close your
right.
eyes, and locked her in the cage. And then here's Neil. He
True.
could do whatever, and
She's
he's
not learning.
That's
No.
a weak spot.
totally.
Yeah.
It's definitely a weak
If only
spot.
defeating your enemies was that simple. Close your eyes,
I know, close
and
your
I'm
eyes.
gonna win this.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Wonder,
will.
Like, come on, do you really think that's the only copy? I swear, if I was trying
that's
to
not the only
blackmail
copy.
somebody, I'm like, it's the only copy. Here you go. No, you just
Definitely not.
keep that other real only copy, just in case they kind of screw you over again.
Exactly. And now
yes.
we have the cloud.
Oh yeah.
Holds
No, I
everything.
mean it's definitely out there.
Yeah.
But so as Neil escapes, Neil runs into Grace because that's the hotel that she's staying at, and then of course they go
Conveniently.
back and they
Get it.
get that. They get it on.
Xan effects or hand gestures.
No,
this
nothing,
time?
Cleo.
Oh.
Nothing. Really?
Sorry.
No. Wow. So that happens, and then of course they have this like, oh, I didn't really want to sell the house, and so it seems like we're getting some.
That's the best house, by the way.
It's a great
That's
house.
the best set
Well,
ever.
no, but
It
what about
is.
Adriana's house?
Yeah, but yeah.
Right?
But that house was a
What
real
about your
house.
house?
No, my house is too big. It was too weird. Even shooting it, I was like, this is crazy.
I know
massive.
it-
They use that in heaps of movies too and stuff. Like, if you, does that
Oh.
look familiar to you, that house?
It could
It's
be.
been used in so much stuff. It was used in Driving Miss Daisy.
Oh.
Where they
Oh,
pull
that's
up.
cool.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, it
information.
sort of looks like a creepy castle, like on the
Yeah.
inside,
A
kind of.
creepy
And it was, the
castle.
stairwell was
Cold
really
and-
weird. Like, I went fishing around, like, and had a little snoop around, and like, it's not the house that Neil's
love
house,
that house.
is. So that was a real house, and then they had to build the set, and it's so beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
That bathroom, the bathroom situation.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And just the sunlight everywhere in the
Yeah,
kitchen,
and being able to see everything. Like, it's such a
Good.
good home.
it is a good home, and they don't want to sell it, so those people will
We
keep
understand
getting
it.
paid for that house. I think for next season, if there's, I don't know what's happening with that.
It's
but
been
hopefully
written
there's
in.
the house is gonna stay. We still don't know what's going on though with their relationship. It's still.
They're gonna get back together. See, right now they're going through a metamorphosis.
But what happens if they get back
Oh.
together? Then what happens to the rest of the show?
Well, I guess the show would be over. But
They go into
can't
business
get together for
together.
a while.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What
Yeah,
if
they
she's the
become the
secretary
Mac
for the
daddies.
escort service? And
Right.
he
Or they both
stops-
have their own clients,
Oh,
Yeah.
but they maintain their marriage.
Oh,
That's interesting.
Maybe.
But then where does it, because the whole thing, the
You're
whole
right.
series has been about
The push
tug
and
of-
pull.
the push and pull.
I
of
don't
the
The
two.
struggle.
I don't think they'll get together this season. I
you think it's gonna be?
Yeah, I think they're still figuring out who they are right now, what they want, and there's going to be this tension and these run-ins and this I love you, I hate you, all that stuff. But I think eventually they will, but not this season. I think we're having our apart time.
All right, so I feel like we're kind of getting into predictions, but before we get into like formal predictions, because we need to discuss. So the episode ends with Emma and Arthur in Argentina, or we know that they're not at home. We don't really know if they're actually in Argentina because I didn't see any. I mean, I didn't hear any.
No, she said that we had just
That
landed.
set wasn't convincing.
No, she just said that they had landed.
Well, right, no, but I mean, like whether or not it was. Anyway, okay. So they're in Argentina.
You think they really
too
went to
many lies
Argentina
right now.
for
There's
that
so many
one?
I'm not
lies.
giving anything
We're not
away,
sure.
but we are in Argentina.
Okay,
Just
they're in Argentina.
so I
good.
can confirm that.
And she gets a call from Simon saying he does not have cancer. I've called the clinic down there. There's no record of him, or is there no record of the clinic? There's basically no, like, everything is a lie. Everything is a huge lie.
entire
There's no
life is a
viral
lie.
therapy. There's no therapy. And we don't know what's going to happen because Arthur's being way creepy and is like, I'm so happy we're here. I
So
feel
now
better
we know
already.
all we know is that he's not sick anymore. So why are they in Argentina?
Yes.
Why are they? Don't
Which
tell us.
Emma
You cannot
better-
tell us.
And
better
did
be
you
real
notice, can I
scared.
give like a little thing? You guys saw it, so I'm
yes.
not giving anything away. But did you notice that he was surprised that my phone worked down there?
Yeah, which that actually doesn't make sense because my phone worked in Argentina. I mean, you
Not
just
just
like
put on international roaming, or does it? That depends.
It still
Yeah,
works.
international roaming, it does.
You just
you'll-
get charged a lot.
Yeah, you'll get charged a
Yeah.
hell of a lot of money, but
But it works.
I mean, they've
Okay.
made sure of that in all the phone companies around the world for
Yeah.
sure.
That was a clue.
Yes. No, it was. True. Above all that, yes, it was
Yeah.
a clue.
not the best clue for me, but okay.
Yeah, well, or more so that he was just like questioning about it, suspicious about it. Like, why? Why does
He's
it
like,
matter?
"Why's your phone
Who
work?"
Yeah.
You should have been like, your phone works too. Try it.
Yeah, like why is there a problem? Whoever you're talking to could have been anyone. We landed in Argentina. I'm telling you about it. Like,
Yeah.
but curious as to why he was so suspicious.
Yes.
What is he up to?
All right.
It was so creepy.
I would want to talk to you about like all the stuff you've got coming up because you've been working like a crazy person, right?
A little bit.
Just a little crazy.
But so first, let's just do a quick round of predictions, and then we'll have like some time for Nikki to like tell us what's coming up.
Excellent.
Good
Right.
predictions.
Excellent.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Thank you.
Oh, was it? Oh, it's a
Thank you
different
so
one.
much.
A different one.
It's the abbreviated one because I know we want to talk to Nikki for a while.
Yes, we're getting through this real quick. Okay, so next week we're seeing a Mad Men themed episode where they go to some sort of. She's like, we are.
Wait, what? Sorry. No, go on. Nothing. Ignore my facial expressions. What? Go on.
Grace looks very Mad Men, Audrey Hepburn.
Oh yes, they
Little-
enter into this some sort of party, some sort of sex party, I imagine, and they all
Another
look very
sex party.
Oh yes, and they're
Sex
all,
party.
sex party, and they're all very
happy.
retro and really like Mad Men. That's the vibe I got from it. But it's interesting because we see Neil and Grace together and very friendly during this. So I think we're going to see a brand new friendship from Grace and Neil. I know that you're thinking they're not going to get together this season, but I think next episode they're going to have a lot of coming together.
Khalil, what do you think? Predictions.
I agree with me and Blake have been pretty much on the same page throughout this whole show. I do think they're gonna come together. They're gonna be like some friendly stuff. I don't know. I really don't. I know some friendly stuff. I lost words. I don't know.
Lauren can fill in though. Lauren, what do you think is gonna happen?
I don't. Ooh, with the party, I mean, I'm not totally sure. I do think that they have these civil moments and more than civil and more than friendly moments that we've seen. I'm more curious about the Simon and Arthur situation because was he doing this only to get Simon back in his life? That seems a bit dramatic. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it
I
worked.
agree. Yeah.
But
then
that's-
run out to Argentina? That
Yeah.
doesn't add up.
I don't know.
I think he's going to do
Or if
something
it's
to
all
Emma.
just some big trick.
So-
Pull Simon back in, and then pull the rug out from underneath both their feet.
Yeah, no, I definitely
their
think that that could be a part of it. I got this really creepy feeling that Emma's gonna bite the bullet and Arthur's gonna like have her killed on some level because I think that he knows that she's preggers and he's not happy about it. So there's a part of me that feels like that's the route, which I'm sad about because I do like Emma's character, the strumpet.
But do you guys want to see Emma and Blake and Simon get back together?
I wouldn't mind that, but then again, I feel like it's the same sort of Grace and Neil situation where like it's like this love that can never work out, sort of a thing.
Everyone's
okay with-
shagging everyone, so like
Right.
it's like
Yeah.
who's really sincere? Because I want to see Emma and Simon come back together. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
I
I do
like
too.
the idea of that happening because that's the only time you ever see Simon actually in love, besides Grace's character.
I was gonna
And
say,
that was
yeah.
like that wasn't as believable to me in the sense of it didn't feel.
But they do get along. Like
Yeah.
he really does care about her.
Yes, but I felt it was more believable between the both of your characters.
Yeah, so maybe there's a little bit of worth fighting for that she comes back and they get together.
I don't know if I would see her getting offed. I feel
You
like,
think?
No, I don't
No,
think
no.
so.
I mean, you think that
Yeah.
she's not going to?
No,
I'm
'cause
still
I
sticking
don't-
with my prediction.
I feel like that's a little too intense to do to
I
one
know,
of our
look at this
like
crazy show.
main peripheral characters, you know?
It's like Poker Face. I can
For-
give you guys
For a random for the random guy that got killed, last season, like
Isn't it the
okay.
funniest part to hear all of this and just whatever we think is going to happen? You're just
No,
like,
because
no.
I watched
all of-
season 1 and I got so into it that I did the entire season in a full day with my girlfriend.
Oh my
Like,
God.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get enough. Like I was so invested. I was like, we were up at 11 at night still watching it like this. Just when you get so into
Oh,
it. That's
yeah.
the
Oh,
beauty
yes.
of these shows now is you can
I-
watch them all as a thing. So I did. So I understand what you're saying, and being a part of the show and then picking up the script each week and going, what's happening? Like, Matador, the show I did last year too, I used to get really upset about where my character was going. Like,
stressful.
that's what you're playing. Like, you want, and you've seen the story how you want it, and the writers may be thinking a complete different thing. And trust me, like, if you're invested in your show, I maybe you're not supposed to. I don't know if you're supposed to be like this, but I am. I get pissed. I want to
Yeah.
know. It's
very
exciting.
stressful.
And they don't tell you on Satisfaction, by the way, what's happening next episode. So we all have to wait like you guys. Like,
Oh.
yeah, you don't get a script until a couple of days before you start shooting, and then everyone's like, oh my God, this, and you've got to, I'm still enjoying the show while I'm in it, which is a weird thing to say, but you're still invested in the storyline. I'm so invested in Simon and Grace as well. So I'm like,
okay, so tell us what is like the stuff that you've been working on. I know that you probably can't tell us everything, but you can if you want to. But
It's a safe zone here.
Yeah, safe zone.
Yeah, no
Let
one
it
will
all out.
see except for the internet.
For everyone on YouTube, right?
cool.
Just that. Yeah, tell us about upcoming projects, shows, movies.
after we shot Satisfaction in Atlanta, I went off to, and I'm allowed to talk about it now, I shot off to Lake Como to shoot the Nespresso commercial with George Clooney and Jack Black, which just came out, which was super exciting, which is not an acting gig, kind of was, but kind of not. But it was so cool. That was like probably one of my funnest gigs I did this year, just because it's the first Australian that's ever gone into, and as you know, they always usually use models and stuff like that, and then they use a lot of his actor friends. So it was such a random audition, like it was a commercial, and I was like, I didn't understand any of it, and there's all these amazing models, and I was like beside myself and like dressed like this and so not like ready for it. So it was a little process leading up to it, and then got the job and got to fly out there and shoot with them. So that was like commercially that was a really cool thing to be a part of. And I don't know, Nespresso, it's really big overseas. It's not released in America. That's why it's all worldwide except for America.
Well, no, we have the Nespresso pods here, so like.
But I mean the commercial, sorry, like they only launched it European and Australia wide. They didn't in America.
They have one right now. It's George Clooney and Danny DeVito.
Yes, that was for the American market, and then me and Jack Black did the European market and the Australian market.
Oh, that's so cool.
So how much work time did you have with Jack Black and George Clooney?
We shot 3 days up at the most amazing place. It's the most beautiful place in the whole world. Like, it's rad. I know that's an old school word, but it's
I use it every day.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
You're in good company using that word.
It's so that was a nice little thing. I just came out like a month ago, and then after that I went on and did a movie called Rebirth. I'm allowed to talk about that for Netflix, which will be coming out. I don't think I can talk about the storyline, but that's cool. That's going to come out on Netflix early next year. Did a movie, just a little bit in a movie called Dog Eat Dog with Paul Schroeder and Nick Cage and William Dafoe. Went out and did that, which was fun. And then what else did I do? I did Looking Glass, Frankenstein, the new series coming out on Fox early next year. So I did the pilot with them, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. It's another thing where I get my gear off the whole time. Oh, and you know what? Another thing where I get my gear off. Wait for it. It's been one of those years. Excuse my language. I did House of Lies, a couple episodes of that. So,
love that show.
But I can't tell you guys what happens in that. But that comes out January. And that was probably one of the coolest jobs I think.
You are going to be everywhere.
Just little pockets though, not
No,
like just
no.
pockets.
Maybe I have a feeling. I'm just saying it now. Another prediction for the world. I think we're going to see a lot.
Right here.
You
right
good
here.
with the predictions?
I don't know. I just have this sense. Trust me, you're laughing, but I feel it.
She's good with the predictions. So she said something that was right.
Shush! Don't be a stuffer.
You are
Maybe
paying
not.
attention.
God, why'd you do that? I'm doing nothing. I'm not responding.
Don't bring attention to Khalil. It's just better. We'll just move along. Moving along.
I need attention.
Well, no, I'm excited. Wait, so tell us then what has been, I think so far, because right now, really, you're doing the majority of your work in the States, not in Australia, right? I mean,
it's all here. Yeah.
So what has been like the most fun project for you so far here?
Everyone says that, and I've got to be honest with you, every single job is so fun.
Oh,
like,
that's
our
good.
job is so cool. I'm so grateful when I work, and there are big chunks where you don't work, but when you do and you're on set, like literally it's so weird. It's like being a rock star. You go onto a set and literally everything is done for you. You have working with amazing people.
Yeah.
It's the dream jobs, and when you're not working, like you're living in your apartment, like eating noodles, like it's just one extreme to another. But when you're there, like, and every actor will say it is the best job in the world, and every set I've been on with and worked with people, I've had so much fun on every single job, the directors, the writers, the cast, and kept lifelong friendships. I did the movie Hall Pass years and years ago with the Farrelly brothers, with Owen Wilson and Jason Sudeikis. we all still get together every couple of months after 6 or 7 years, and we all go up to Ojai, and we've all stayed in great, like, really close contact. And this is what happened. It's the weirdest experience. You build these families on set with the most bizarre people. Like, for me, it's weird. Like, I come from Australia, and I watched all these people growing up. Like Grant Show, who plays my husband, Melrose Place. I was like, hi, Jake. I kept calling him Jake. Like, from Melrose Place. I'm a little girl in Australia. Nice. So it's surreal, and it's like, I just think every job is so weird and random and fun and like nerve-wracking, and it's just cool. Like, I don't know.
Okay, so Matt Passmore, we found out from Michelle Deshawn that he's a big, like, jokester. But because you didn't really have scenes with him, did you get some of that jokesterness?
Yeah, he's an Aussie, so they're always... him and Blair do all sorts, but I was like, don't you dare get me. Like, I get all crazy.
Put the warning.
The Farrelly brothers do that too on set. They get you all the time. Like, so I won't even get into it. But yeah, Matt is like an Aussie. Aussies do that. They always want to go the extra step. You know what I mean?
Don't.
Well, no, I'll get involved and stuff. I'll put Craig's down and stuff. But like, I never know how far to push it. You get onto a set and you don't know.
Yeah.
People, and I've seen things go wrong on sets too, and people try to be too funny,
that.
and
yeah,
it's really awkward. And then you've got like A-grade actors, and you're sort of like, just, you don't know. People get a little too confident. I don't know. I just sort of just whatever. Yeah.
Was there any like funny moments between you and Blair that like just totally stand out for you? Maybe laugh attacks or weird, uncomfortable,
super awkward moments.
Yes. I would admit, people always, it's fascinating doing sex scenes in shows and movies, and it's so wrong. It feels so odd. There's nothing sexy about it at all, because all you give a shit about is how well you're going to look.
Yeah.
So you're trying to angle yourself in all these positions. So you're not even aware that there's someone with you, but you are sharing a space with someone that's really borderline, like it's
very
full
intimate.
on. Yeah, it really is. And so you have to sort of have a relationship with that person. Like, you have to trust them. So there are moments where things go wrong and things fall off, and you just like, God damn. And you have to become friends with them, and you have to like, can you make sure my ass looks okay? Like, can someone help me here? Like, it's your best friend on set, and they're guarding you and protecting you. And Blair's clearly done the show for a long time, so I was like, I am so nervous, Blair, you have to look after me. And he did. He's so cool. He's one of my mates anyway. I know him in real life. Off the show, we have the same team and stuff. So he's a friend, and I felt quite safe with him. But then that's the weird thing about it. You do these crazy intimate stuff with these actors who you've met in one day, and then boom, like,
you don't see him anymore.
See ya. No, it's just,
you're really living the life.
It's a really weird. No, it's not like that. I know you think it is. Maybe for some people it is. I am really weird about it. It's a real process for me. Like I still stay in contact with Blair. I'm like, hey Blair, like I still want to be his friend, because I feel like, you know, when you share that with someone, you want to keep them around like as a friend. Like,
it's like a void.
Yeah, it's like too intimate not to.
Yeah, and he's like, hey Nick, what's up? I'm like, no Blair, hi. I try and keep it really, like, going topless in Hall Pass as well. I was like, I was freaking out and having like heart failure, and like I was like so much younger at the time. I was like, and in front of Owen Wilson, and he was like, they're only boobs, and I'm like, like he was so casual about it, and I was like, I know, that's what I'm thinking.
You're like, well, then you take your shirt off too.
I know. So it's a process for a lot of us girls.
Going into Satisfaction, did you have any reservations or anxiety ahead of time, knowing that the subject matter, and knowing you were going to be clothesless?
It wasn't that clear. I promise you it wasn't that clear. I knew there was a little bit of, action, but like not where we went. Like I said, we only got the scripts a couple of weeks. So it was always like, starving myself like prior week to go, oh God, like as a girl, that's how you think. Like, it wigs you out. So it's, there's definitely things that were sprung on me, and I was like, okay, you just got to find a way to, but funnily enough, watching bits of it, from what really goes on, they cut so much out.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, truly.
So it's got to be nerve-wracking from the point of filming everything
to
airing, to it, and you're
like
watching
it.
So scared. Like, I make my friends watch it first. It's a whole thing.
Oh, God, I can imagine.
I've got stuff coming out that I can't even. I don't. Yeah,
she's gonna need some like lavender smelling salts or something around.
Some meditation and aromatherapy.
You don't get a choice. It's out of your control. It is off and gone, and that's why working with good actors, good directors, good writers, good shows, you can. And I was really happy with Satisfaction. You know, I know that crew. I used to do a show called Franklin and Bash. Do you guys remember Franklin and Bash?
Yeah.
And a lot of the crew from that were over there on out in Atlanta with us, and I felt really safe. And I knew, even though it was crazy on set, like watching bits of the show now, I'm like, thank you, team. I'm emailing everyone going, thank you. Like, they do look after you, and they do want you to look good. Like, so you're well protected, but it's a process for sure. Some girls are like, yeah, woo, but that's nope, not me.
No, too scary.
Yeah.
Well, everything looked incrable.
I
All the
thought
stuff
you
we've
looked
seen.
Everything was perfection. And I'm sure will be.
It's rough
Same
trade.
here.
You just got to cover all the right angles.
Well, then they did whatever they needed to because you looked good.
Success.
I agree.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me again.
So much fun. Yes,
love
thank
this
you
show.
so much.
We love this show. Everyone out there, thank you for joining us. Next week we are covering episode 6, which should be a doozy. I've been your host, Allison Dean. You can find me everywhere at the Allison Dean. Nikki, where can they find you on social media?
All Nicky Whelan, except for Instagram. Someone stole it, so it's Nicky Whelan X.
Nikki,
That jerk.
I like it.
Oh.
Blake.
And I am Blake
Satisfaction.
V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
I'm Khalil Boo Boo. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Khalil Boo Boo.
And I'm Lauren Salon. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, everywhere else at Lauren Salon.
Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Have a great week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.